Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to the International Teaching Conference 2023 by Kelas Kreatif Indonesia with the theme Enhancing Students' Writing Skill Using Book Reader, a Multimodal Approach. We have Ibu Dian Octavianah SIP as the speaker today. My name is Ismarosa from MTS Asharifiyah Bandung, and I will be hosting today's webinar. I'm going to read a brief CV of Ibu Dian Octavianah SIP. Education, Master of Education candidate at English Education, Department Universitas 11 Maret, Surakarta, Central Java, from 2020 to present. And then Bachelor degree International Relation in Political Social Science SIP, Pajajaran University, Bandung, West Java, Indonesia. Ibu Dian is an English teacher and a principal at Al-Abidin Bilingual Boarding School, Surakarta, Indonesia. She's also a teacher trainer at Al-Abidin Language Center or ALC, Surakarta, Indonesia. A professional marker at Pearson Melbourne, VIC, Australia, from May 2016 to June 2018. And she had research and publication. Let's welcome Ibu Dian to give her presentation. Ibu Dian, hello.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. Hello, everyone.
Okay, Ibu Dian, time is yours.
All right, thank you very much, Bu Isma. I'm going to start my presentation by sharing my screen. Before I start, Bu Isma, can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes, so clearly.
Alhamdulillah, yeah, great. Right. Thank you, Bu Isma. Here we go.
Okay.
All right, can you see my presentation slides on your screen, everyone? Is it clear? Can you see it, Bu Isma?
It's clear. It's all right, clear, Bu Dian.
All right, thank you very much. All right, everyone, thank you very much for coming today on Kelas Kreatif International Teaching Conference 2023, Integrating Teaching, Learning, Assessment in ESL Courses. My name is Dian Octavianah. I'm a teacher at SMA IBB Surakarta. I also work as a teacher trainer at Al-Bidin Foundation, also based in Surakarta. Today, I'm very excited to share one of my, you can say, experiences while I was teaching during the pandemic back in 2020, 2021. The topic of my presentation, we're going to explore more about one of these applications that I integrate in my teaching and learning process in the classroom. So the topic is about enhancing students' writing skills using a book creator, a multimodal approach. So the presentation will be divided into 4 parts. The first is introduction. I'm going to share a little bit about the background, why I choose this topic, why I feel the urge and the need to share this topic with all of you. And I hope you can gain more insights to this. And the second is I'm going to dive more on multimodal approach, especially when we use it when we want to have a writing project for our students. I'm not going to talk about the theory. I'm just going to talk more how I, enhance or use this approach in my classroom. The third, I will also going to share a little bit with all of you about how to design a writing project based on my experience. And finally, we'll conclude today's presentation. All right, without further ado, let's just get started. So I stumbled upon a book creator application while I was teaching online, having long distance classes with my students back when we still have the pandemic. I tried to find a creative, engaging, as well as a fun way to teach during pandemic. As all of you know, when we had this pandemic back in like 2 years ago, we kind of find it very difficult to adjust, not only for us, the teachers, but also for the students. The students, they feel like reluctant, unmotivated, even just to, sit down on their desk and turn on the camera is very difficult for them. Not to mention when we ask them to do assignments or even projects. So I stumbled upon this app. I forgot whether it's is it a webinar or a conference or workshops? I just don't remember, but I do have, when I joined those webinars, I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting app, and I would really love to use it in my classroom. So that's the first time I get to know about Book Creator. So I first tried to use this app in my classroom when we had a project-based learning dealing with recount text, because at that time I was teaching 10th graders for English specialized programs, English Peminatan. And I asked my students to create a writing, more of like a reflection writing during their experiences in long distance learning. And after that, I tried to, get more and fun ideas, more engaging activities using this app. I also use it for making a book snap. I don't know whether you have heard about it, but it's also a good project, both for writing and reading. And I also share this app, how to use it and how we can, integrate this app in our classroom through all of my friends in the foundation, to the primary teachers, lower secondary teachers, SMP teachers, and they use it for an semester project. At that time, my fellow teachers in primary schools in the same foundation where I work, they use this app to make a comic strip. And also the collaborative projects where teachers can collaborate to create what is a final project for their students. For example, if you teach biology and I teach English, we can have a collaborative project using this app. It's very interesting. Overall, it's endless possibilities that we can have through this app. All right, that's just a little bit of introduction. Okay, next, let's go. So talking about multimodal approach, nowadays, we can see that our students, especially young students, they frequently link their activities outside of school and, immerse themselves in watching YouTube videos, playing online games and things like that. And when they do that, they develop their skills and competences in meaning making, in learning, in studying, that involve producing and consuming a multimodal and multimedia text. While on the other hand, when we talk about formal learning nowadays, in school especially, what happens is the teachers tend to engage the students and emphasis more on reading and writing traditional text. And this is what happened. This is by Quest in 2010. We can see that many teachers, they still, having this, kind of a traditional method, traditional ways to encourage students in improving their reading and writing skills. I'm not against traditional methods or traditional ways, but again, because the world is evolving, we also need to, integrate technology in our classroom. So it's not like the final aim, but we use it as a tool to enhance our teaching and learning process in the classroom. So as a teachers in a formal education institution, we cannot disregard this development. We also need to learn and improve our skills as teachers so that we can, offer better and appropriate education for our students and the generation in the future. So why a writing project? I know writing is not easy, even for us as adults, as teachers, but this skill, this competence is very important nowadays. And I can assure you that not many students love writing. Okay, I'm sure you agree with this. And according to Darrington 2015, since the students are lacking motivation, many secondary students fail their English studies. And how to avoid this, how to, improve our students' motivation, one of the ways we can use multimodal writing tasks. So it's a technique, it's an approach to probably boost our students' desire and interest to write, okay? When we talk about writing, it's not like, writing like those academic papers or articles, no, but starting with the simple activities, simple projects, like we ask them to write about, things that they like, reflecting about their own experiences, just like what I did with my students in recontact topic. So many things, writing poems, something like that. So if not, start with the simple one. Start with the basic activity that the students can do. Okay. According to Pandya in 2012, he defined multimodal writing as designing text that engage verbal, visual, written, and other modes of meaning making. Okay, other modes including like running images, music, songs. You can put all those elements, all those modes into your written text and make it a multimodal assignment. So unmotivated students, they can feel as though they might succeed when they do this kind of project, in writing classes, especially when we involve multimodal approach. On your screen, you can see some of the results of my students' projects when they did the writing assignments in my class. I asked them to write their reflections, their own experiences during the pandemic. And the results so amazing. And they also share the process of how they composed and how they wrote this book together. So it's a group project. I divided them into 6 or 7 people, I forgot, in one group. And then I asked them to compose the book. I will, share it to you, so the rest of you later on, if we still have time at the end of this presentation. Okay, moving on. How to design a writing project? Well, I don't really think there's like a good recipe for this, because different teachers, they've got different knowledge, different experiences, and different ways in handling their students. But what I did mostly when I have project, any kind of project, not only a writing project, I start by creating a project timeline. So it's like making a lesson plan, but it's more like, thorough and simple. I usually use Microsoft Word, and they divide it into columns. I arrange into timelines, like when do I need to finish this topic with my students in the classroom. For example, let's say I need 6 meetings. So in those kind of meetings, I elaborate it in one timeline, and I share it to my students so they will understand when is the deadline. Okay. The second one, I put all of the information, the presentation, the materials, the resources, the sample of writing into, I call it one-stop resource. Basically, the ideas is coming from a web quest. You can browse later on what a web quest is. So it's like a simple presentation, just like this, but you also, provide your students with the links where they can access the materials and also the resources, and they can just click it, those links in in your web quest. So instead of making it a one-way form of communication, web quest provide you with a two-way information so that your students can access it through one presentation, something like that. So you can use it, you can make a web quest using MS Word or PowerPoint presentation, or even just like today, Google Slides. You can also use that. And the third one, I also put the information on the web quest about the assessment criteria. And I try to involve the 4 C's of 21st century skills: creativity, communication, critical thinking, and problem solving. And the last one is collaboration. So that's one of the, the assessment criteria, beside other stuff, other things like the content of the project, and so on and so forth. And the last but not least is the feedback session. It's very important. Whenever you've got projects, you also ask them to, the student asks them to present their project, and then afterwards you can give feedback. You can give like a common or general feedback, or maybe if you want to have like a private session with your students, you can ask them to meet you in person so that you can give, more privacy for them to hear on your feedback. And don't forget also to have their peers, their friends to give their feedback. I usually do this at the end of the session in the timeline. So I usually give like 2 until 3 weeks for them to finish the project. And at the end, before we continue to the next topic, I always ask them to give a presentation about how they compose it, and then the problems they face, and then how they solve it. And at the end of the time, I also ask them to give a chance to other students in the classroom to ask questions to them. So it's very important so that they, understand where they need to improve, and then they can also, through feedbacks, they can also, give them more confidence, praise them about the positive results of the project. All right, that's about designing a writing project. We're going to the end. Before I conclude, later on, after the conclusion, I'm going to share you about the result of my students' project. Well, again, writing is not easy, I know that. But when you provide a multimodal writing, this is according to Rogers, when we compare it with multimodal work to conventional paper-based projects, we find that multimodal writing has the potential to be more effective, as well as inspiring for students, especially those who feel like they're struggling and they're not really motivated to do this kind of project. It's proven to be more effective than the conventional method. It's also more inspiring. And again, sometimes we as teachers, we tend to focus more on the final results instead of the process. So I'll focus more on the process, how the students put their motivation, their ideas, the time they spent in finishing the project, the creativity involved, rather than the result. Because sometimes, like, when we see the results, like, okay, it's not good, it's not, like what I expected. You can have that, but do not share with your students. But focus more to the progress they have made during the whole time they do the project. I think that's more important. And the third one is about teachers' feedback, as well as peer feedback. It's also very important. Try to also include this feedback session whenever you got any kind of project with your students in the classroom. Why? Because they provide assistance, they provide guidance for the students to design a better project in the future. And the last one, try to be more creative, okay? Do not stick to one project. For example, if you use this book app, try to also find ideas how you can, explore more using this app, and then integrate it into your teaching and learning process. Not use the same project every single time, like the whole academic year you use this, and then next year you also use it with the same project. I mean, you can use the same app, but not the same project. So avoid producing monotonous projects, and you may need to update students' assignments or projects over time during the academic year. I think that's all, everyone. You can find the references, and also you can click here the result of the students' project in my presentation. As I promised to you before I end, I'm going to share my students' work. Do we still have time?
Yes, we still have much time. Please, please.
All right, I'm going to skip for a while and show you this one. Can you see it?
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, so this is Book Creator. This is the website. You can find all kind of resources for teachers. It is divided based on the grade that you teach. If you teach pre-kindy or kindy, or maybe elementary or primary, middle school, or even upper secondary or high school, and also divide it into subjects. If you teach, I teach English, by the way, but if you teach mathematics, science, you can also use this app, and then you can find, all kind of projects that you can do with your students using Book Reader. And yeah, it's very easy. You can just create, read, publish, as easy as it is. You can, use this app by signing in using your Google account. So it's very easy. So you got Google account, any Google account will do, or they also provide you to sign up using your Microsoft account. So you've got Microsoft account, you can also use that. And they give you like several libraries, one library that you use and share with your students, up to 40 books. And they don't give any limitation for students or anyone in public who can read the books in your library. So 40 books, I think that's quite a lot. I mean, if you teach like one classroom, 20 to 25 students, that will be more than enough for you and your students in the classroom to create a book together. All right. Also, talking about the differentiated learning, this is like the trend topic, if I may say, during Curriculum Merdeka. I'm not sure. Yeah, we haven't used Curriculum Merdeka in our school, Bu Isma, but
next year perhaps. Next year.
The teachers were all preparing. One of the common theme that is keep being discussed in Curriculum Merdeka is about differentiated learning.
That's right.
Yeah, I found it a very interesting book by Rosie McClellan. He is an expert in accessibility and universal design for learning. You can check it out. It's very interesting. Provide, table of contents, introduction. So this is what I said about multimodal. You can, insert any videos, introduction videos like this, like Rosie did here in her book. You can also put pictures or even, sound, something like that. Okay. And I don't know whether you joined Bu Finita's last webinar. I did join in the beginning, but in the middle, I need to do something. In her presentation, she talked about choice boards. You can also use Book Creator to make a choice board. So again, the possibilities are endless using this app. So that's about it. I'm going to share you my students' project. So this is one of the projects coming from my students.
Yeah.
So what I did at that time is after they create the book, I asked them to make like an Instagram account where they need to, market, their book so that people will be interested in reading it. And this book, I think it has got like 30-something, readers because this group put their book links in Instagram and they kind of like promote it, to their social medias and ask people to read their book. So quite interesting. So this is their result.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like a collaborative project in a group. I asked them to provide one story from one student. And it's very interesting because as a reflective writing, students can, own this project because they created, they wrote this. And one of the students wrote about, the loss of the beloved people in their family during the pandemic. They lost their uncles, their grandparents. And I think it's very, therapeutic for them. It helps them cope the sadness after losing, someone that they lost through this writing project. So yeah, one of my students wrote about that. And I was like, oh, okay, that's sad. But also, I feel, I'm happy for them because they've got this place for them to write and express about their feeling and emotions. And this is one of my favorites. It's called All of Us. This is also coming from the girls group. What interesting is they provide songs and Spotify.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, songs
very
and
interesting.
Spotify, yeah, Spotify playlist about their favorite songs. So it's all of our story. Again, this is coming from a girls group. Girls sometimes they're very poetic and their
Is
designs
it Korean?
are
Korean, no?
yeah, their design are also, beautiful and interesting. And one of the students who wrote this shared about the recipe on how to make churros and dalgona coffee.
Yeah.
Because it was quite popular at that time. And, people try to find all kind of sorts of interesting hobbies, or they take up new hobbies during pandemic. This is what my students did, sharing recipe and videos, how to create it, how to make it. So it's very interesting. And paper craft as well. And one of the students even enrolled into like online course by Harvard Medical School, and then he shared about the certificate here. I was like, oh my God, so interesting. And then they also provide music here. So while we read, they're on the music, and they also narrated their own stories. Yeah. So they kind of record themselves and then put it here in the book creator. And this is from the boys group. Wait.
What is that?
Wait. The boys, they make a comic.
Oh, yeah. Boy, like comics, yeah.
So they put it into like a comic strip, our life during pandemic like this, and then they make it into this. So at the time, I was kind of making as a competition for each classroom, and I chose like the best project, and I gave them, like little prizes from me, and they were so excited at that time. So this is about the project, the first project that I did with my students. Again, after I did this, I asked them to provide also feedback, so that their friends can give and leave, comments or feedback for their group. This is what one of the group did, creating a Padlet, and then they shared the link at the end of the presentation when they presented the result of the project in the classroom. At the end of the presentation, the group shared the Padlet link and then asked the friends to come into the Padlet link and then give comments or leave feedback for them. So this is the result. So it's very interesting, so that when they read this, they will feel like, more motivated to do the next project, whether it's writing project, reading project, whatever it is. So it's kind of boosting their self-confidence as well. And also, it's a very good way for the other friends to assess their friends' work. Probably give like positive, comments or positive feedback, so that they can improve their work next time, something like that. And for the other rest of the project, I use it also as well when I teach them about narrative text. High school materials, when we talk about high school materials for English subjects, they're all talking about text, and even for me, it's kind of boring. Well, I don't know.
I
mean,
narrative.
Can you imagine, just teaching about
long,
like this, and then recontext is like this, blah, blah, blah. So I don't really use like, old methods or traditional methods when I teach, because I do feel like it's going to be bored. So that's why I asked them to do, sort of projects. And this is the project for narrative. I asked the students to pick on a book, so they can read any book, and then I asked them to select the important text from the book, like the quote from the book, and try to relate it to their own experience. Okay, and then I also asked them, you can also use a song, any kind of song, and then from the lyrics, you can highlight it and then try to reflect it into your own experience. Also from a movie. So it can come from a reading text, like a book, something like that, a song, or even a movie. And then this is one of my students' work. He gave the title Feelings, because these are the songs that he loves, the list of the songs that he loves from Spotify. And then he provides with the music as well. And then he provides with his own reflection, something like that. So that's what I asked them to do for the narrative text when I teach it in the classroom. And then one student find out about or share about the movie that he watched with his friends. Oh, wait, I don't know what happened.
What happened?
Let me try that again. I don't know, maybe my internet connection. Wait. So this is my dashboard. You can see all kind of books that my students have written here. So you will be provided with one library, your own library, your private library, and then another one for you to share with your students. It includes 40 books, and you can share the link with them, the code with them, and then they can sign up using their Google account, but as a student. So you can sign up using Book Creator as a teacher, and for students as students. So they will come here, you give them the code, they will come into your library, and they'll put their books here. So we can see the display of the books that our students have made. So this is the project that I told you about, Bu Isma, this book snap. I teach about narrative project. I ask them to pick any books. It could be a fiction or non-fiction books, and then they can highlight, the words or the sentences in the book and try to relate it into their own experience. So this is an example. Or just now I show you from Danu about the song. Now this one is coming from the book from Harry Potter. So he, he screenshot the book, and then he highlighted the words. This is "It's our choices, Harry, that show what we truly are, far from our abilities." And they try to relate it into their own experience. So these sentences show that what we chose to do will show what we will be in the future. These sentences make me try to keep onward and never retreat to improve myself and my ability. So again, although this is a narrative project, but I want to find something meaningful for my students to do. And this is what I did with them. I asked them to make a book snap. Well, actually, the book snap idea is coming from a teacher in America, if I'm not mistaken. But instead of using a Book Creator, he used, what is that? The application. I don't know whether you have heard about Snapchat. He used a Snapchat. But here I use a Book Creator application. Well, I think that's all, but it's not. I hope I didn't. I hope it's not boring for all of you.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Thank you very much for coming, everyone. That ends my presentation today. If you got any questions or if you want to discuss, about how to integrate this application into your classroom, you can just contact me anytime through my email or my Instagram account. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. That's all from me. I'll see you when I see you. Billy Taufik Hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Ibu Dian, for enlightening talk. It's a great presentation, I enjoy it. So pandemic made Bu Dian creative, to make innovative.
I think pandemic makes everyone creative, Bu Isma.
Yeah, creative.
Even for lazy teachers like me, I became more diligent.
Right. Ibu Dian, most of the students do not like reading, but by seeing this book creator, I think they will like it, they will like it. But not all the students can write, So my question is how to make them, motivate them to write something like that, Bu Dian.
Yep. Thank you very much for the question. So we're entering quick Q&A session Bu Isma sekarang All right, good.
Boleh.
Thank you. So that's a very interesting question. Thank you, Bu Isma. Like I said before, it's not easy to write even for us adults. I mean, I hardly even write simple things on my diary. But
that's right.
But what I do every day is like writing my schedule. That's the most common thing for me to write every single day. But to motivate students to write, I think the basic thing that we need to do is try to find things that they love. That's why I try to give them like choices or I try to involve things that they love. For example, if you do not like to read, They can, listen to a music or a song, and then they can use that kind of song, the lyrics, read it first, and then try to relate it into their own experience. But if they do not really like music, they can use films. If they love watching films, they can take the quotes from the film, the most favorite quote that they love, and then try to also relate it into their own experience. So basically, again, when we ask them to write, try to involve their likes, and then things that they love, their passion, things that they love to do, their hobbies as well, and then ask them to write simple things, 1 or 2 sentences. Just like the book snap, it's very simple, probably 2 until 3 sentences, and that's the basic thing that I ask them to do. So I do not start with the very complicated things, because even for me, there's also kind of a it's kind of burden as well. So I also ask them to, you will need this skill. Writing is very important, especially when you go to college or university. You'll be asked to write tons and tons of academic papers, articles, and things like that. So by doing this project, you're actually, taking a baby step to start, improving and developing your writing skill. So so that's basically what I did with my students, Bro Isma. Thank you very much for the question.
That was very interesting. So what grade can we make this book creator? What grade? Is it okay for junior high school?
Oh, it's very okay for junior high school. It's even okay for primary schools, even for pre-kindy or kindergarten, just like you've seen it before. I share it to you. The website from Book Creator. You can find all kind of ideas how to use this book for all kind of grades, all kind of subjects as well. The last time my son also used it when he was in, now he's in junior high school, when he was in primary high school, because the teachers there, I share, because I also work as a teacher trainer. So I share about this to all the teachers in my foundation. And the teachers then have ideas to create a writing project for students at the end of the semester. After they finish their final test, but waiting for the report book, they're having this project. And the teacher asked them to write or to make a comic, and they use Book Reader based on the ideas that I have shared with all of the teachers in my son's primary school. So yeah, you can start to, you can use this app for younger students, even in pre-kindy until grown-ups or adults.
Oh,
so
the
possibilities are endless.
All right, that's good. So perhaps next time we have a tutorial how to make it. Dian. So in another chance, we will invite you to make a tutorial how to make it.
Inshallah. Okay.
We need practice. We need practice.
Yes. At first, Isma, I also feel like, okay, what to do, even when we understand English, but when we are, faced into like, some sort of new technologies.
Yeah, that's right.
I often feel like, okay, what to do. But for me, I always have this kind of principle, trial and error, just go there, just go there and try, even though you don't really know what to do. You'll able to find out and then, maximize your potential using any sort of technology or application.
So everybody can write anything, even their feeling.
And what's great about multimodal writing project is that they can also put their favorite song. They even can record themselves, or they can even put their drawings in it, instead of only words, instead of written text. They can also have all kind of modes, including images, sound, graphics. They also provide all kind of stickers and emoticons and pictures there, so you can design anything that you love, colorful and then creative ways to engage the students. We will need for the teachers. So
the learning will be interesting, yeah,
Yep,
right?
yep,
So,
yep.
so what kind of project can we use with this book creator, Budia? What kind of
You can
project?
use, you can use it for a reading, writing project, or even a collaborative project. Last time I shared it with my fellow teachers in the high school where I work. They use it as a collaborative project between subjects. So for example, if you teach a biology or chemistry, and then you have a collaboration with fellow teachers who teach English, for example. And then, for example, the project is about fermentation, like how to make tofu, how to make tempeh, something like that. You can put it in Book Creator app. And then for the assessment, you can divide it. For example, the content, you can have the science teachers who grade or assess the result. And you can have the English teacher to assess the language in the book, something like that. So again, the possibilities are endless. You can use it for any subject that you teach in your class. Even if you also want to use Book Creator as a web class, that also will be very good. Just like Rosie did when she explained about differentiated learning. She put everything and made it into content, and then people can just click it like that, and then they will go to the website, something like that. Yeah.
This is the private question. Is it the Book Creator free, or do we have to pay for it?
It's totally free. To be honest, Isma, I've never used anything that not free.
Not free. We have to pay for it.
I always use a free application,
free application.
in my classroom. So Book app is free, but the free account only gets you until 40 books in one library.
I see.
So again, you will get one private library and then one public library where you can share the code, the access code for your students to come to the library and then share the book project. But that's it, only 40. One free account, 40 books. But if you want to use it more, probably you can sign up using different Google accounts.
With another email.
So that's what I keep doing. So I've been using all of my emails, like 5 of them. Now it's almost full. But I'm not sure. I don't really think it's going to be very expensive if you have like a district school. For example, Bu Isma, you teach, for example, in Bandung, North Bandung, and then in North Bandung, you've got like 5 schools. Maybe those 5 schools will collaborate and use this, and then you can, share the amount of fee to each school. So, but every school can use it. So if you want to have more libraries, you can pay, but you can also ask other schools to invest in this application, and then you can share the annual fee between those schools, and it will be much, much cheaper for you.
I see. We find the free one.
Start with the free one.
All right. So we have to make an account first, to access this application,
And you need to register as a teacher because you need to share, and your student as a student. And I will share. I think in my presentation you get my web quest, and in the web quest you will find I share how to register as a student for my students at that time. They just click it and then they watch the how-to videos from Book Creator. And alhamdulillah, most of them they do understand what to do at that time. So I don't need to explain step by step. They just watch the videos from Book Creator, how to sign up as a student, something like that.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Ibu Dian, for your presentation and answering my question. So many questions,
No worries.
So hope one day we can apply this Book Creator for the teachers,
Yep,
All
sure.
right. Thank you. That's the end of the session. Thank you so much for your attention, right? Hope one day we can meet again. Goodbye. All right.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you.